Para você que vive pedindo treino de atleta, treino do Cbum na tela, mas antes, deixe seu like e se inscreva no nosso canal que é tudo de graça e vem comigo. Bora, chamou também no leg press, então beleza, saiu do búlgaro, vamos para o leg press. Deu uma aquecidinha no leg press, vamos embora.
So with this one, I do it and I kind of almost do like a toe press where the bottom of my heels come up because either my background's off the mat or my heels come off to get low enough. Otherwise, I feel like my range is like...
Your range sucks or
it's like
your back's
6
fucked.
inches. Yeah, exactly. So for my whole career, I always just rolled my back up and I just saw a different guy being like, try taking your heels off. And I always saw that as like a cardinal sin.
Yeah.
But I mean, it works your quads. Like I haven't really had any issues.
I mean, the king of that was Tom Platz.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I was like, well,
mexe ali no...
but I can get my heels to my like my knee angle is like super extreme.
If you lift your toe off?
Yeah.
Or your heel off?
Yeah.
That's really the secret to getting big legs is the amount of knee flexion you can get.
Full range.
Yeah. Like be able to touch your calf to your hamstring.
Yeah.
You can do that with a crazy amount of load.
Segredo para você ter uma perna grande é o tanto de flexão de joelho que você faz. Pega essa.
The legs will grow.
Yeah.
Amplitude
so like at the beginning of my career to the now of my career, I just look for like largest range of motion with the easiest thing to load that doesn't hurt with lots of load. Like,
tá vendo?
do the most
Segredo.
range of motion.
Ah, tá vendo? Ele tira o calcanhar do... na descida por conta das costas dele. Beleza, então aqui ó, ele foi uma técnica que ele aplicou. Ele até falou que via como um pecado capital. Só que isso aí é pra ele, tá? Ele tem ali aquele probleminha na coluna que ele falou, aquelas dores nas costas. Então na hora da descida ele tira um pouco o calcanhar da plataforma e depois empurra de novo. Não é pra você fazer isso, tá?
That's how I train it.
É um movimento em que ele adaptou para a realidade dele.
This is for the next 3 to 5.
3 to 5?
Por isso que você tem que procurar o seu personal. Então toma cuidado com isso aí.
I like Vegas a lot. More than I think I've liked any city I've lived in as an adult. It's just like, it's a non-judgmental city.
Fair.
Well, everyone pretends to be something, and they come to Vegas and they like let their real selves out.
Yeah.
And I just like being here. Like you can see an 80-year-old dude and a 20-year-old girl, and like it's just Vegas. He could be in a tuxedo, she's in a bikini.
Is that them being themselves, or is that filling something that isn't themselves?
Fair, but no one judges.
No one judges.
And that's what I like about it.
Fair enough.
No one knows either way, but no one's gonna care.
Yeah.
And so also it's not political because it's for tourism, so it has to be just neutral.
Super neutral, yeah.
So it's not political at all, which I like. It's great for traveling in and out. People come here all the time.
Yeah. Someone's always got a reason to be here.
Yeah, everybody I know comes to Vegas once a year anyways. Yeah. So I can see plenty of people. If I lived in Cincinnati, I would never see you.
Yeah.
Right? So I get to, like, I benefit from that. We have direct flights everywhere out. So, because everyone flies in and out of Vegas. 4 hours from the beach and the mountains.
Yeah.
30 minutes from the lake. We've got the best food and dining and shows in the world. It's tax-free.
Tá no meio da bagunça, né?
Dry, which I personally like. I'm a desert person.
Humidity sucks.
A person of the desert, so.
Fair enough. It's in your blood.
Yeah, it's in my blood.
Sou uma pessoa do deserto.
So yeah, and then UFC's here. It's their old building, and so.
Yeah.
Ah, esse é o prédio antigo do UFC, olha aí, ó.
Which is all.
I mean, it's a perfect setup for this.
Yeah.
It's nice you don't need like warehouse space too.
No,
You
right.
have to deal with that bullshit.
Right.
Aí, tá vendo, ó? Esse Cbum, ele já não tira já o calcanhar, tá vendo, ó? Ele não tem essa técnica que o Alex utiliza. Ele tá fazendo curtinho em cima, desceu, curtinho embaixo, beleza. Tem 2 tempos que a gente chama, ó, embaixo, volta, volta tudo, volta, sobe tudo, beleza. Outra técnica também que eles colocaram, amplitude de movimento total, nada de encher de peso o leg press e ajudar com o joelho, ou então fazer curtinho, né, meus marombas?
Nice.
Beleza. Nice. Beleza, movimento completo, ó.
One.
Desceu. Curtinho. Subiu. Curtinho. Desceu. Beleza. Olha onde tá indo ali, ó. Amplitude de movimento dele. Ah, Alex, mas não é errado essa amplitude de movimento. Vai falar pro cara o tamanho do cara. Amplitude do cara. O que não pode é você fazer curtaço. Tipo isso aí, ó. Só o primeiro movimento dele. Beleza. Ficou louco aí, hein? O bicho tá pegando. Tá começando a bombear sangue na perna aí, né, Alex?
I don't know if it's coming back up.
Vambora, vambora.
Well, that was a failure set. Oh, man.
Opa! Vai cair aí, bicho. É, o treinão tá falhando a perna, né? Agora. O tamanho da perna do homem tá grande já. Beleza, bora. A consciência corporal dele é muito top, cara. Atleta, né?
Well, yeah, it's interesting because now you have this balance of like, I want to push, but like the risk reward of pushing goes down a lot.
Literally.
Because like you really just want to maintain on as little effort as possible, or little risk as possible.
It's hard, especially because
2 years ago or something.
I mean, it's a logistical difference. They added weight cap to everybody in my category except me. I got like 2 pounds and everyone else got 6 to 8.
Why?
Just because it was unfair. People were complaining that people at the height of 6'1" had an unfair advantage.
Like statistically or something?
No, people were just complaining. I was the only one in that category.
Okay.
So that happened, and then now everyone got better, so I actually have to improve and like fine tune it. But I'm also like the most old broken guy in the category, so I also have to be the safest.
Yeah.
Eu sou o cara mais velho e quebrado da categoria. Tá vendo?
What is interesting from like an investor perspective, that's like risk-adjusted return.
Ponto de vista de investidor, vambora.
It's the same thing, yeah.
If you're at 5th place, you should take all the risks you can, because if you fail, you lost nothing because no one cares.
Literally.
If you win, it makes all the difference.
Exactly.
If you're in 1st, it just,
That's where that battle comes in, though.
Yeah.
Because if you're 5th place and you do take all the risks to get to 1st place, then you get to 1st place and then you change it,
yeah,
are you still going to stay there?
that's why I'm pro trying to win.
Oh, you're pro what?
Trying to win.
Yeah.
I don't want to learn the lessons that losing has to teach me. I've already learned those lessons.
There's more than one lesson to learn.
From losing?
Yeah.
So it's funny. So I think this is a good combo, but
All right, let's hear it.
I see, I see winning and losing as aversive, well, basically the reinforcing stimuli from a behavior perspective. So anything, electric shock is universally across species an aversive stimulus. People avoid it.
Yeah.
All rats to snakes to humans. Electric shock, people avoid. What rewards people, food rewards people pretty much across species, and so on, right? And so if losing, we just see it's, and this is the assumption, an aversive stimuli, then it means I want to learn what I do to avoid this thing, which you've avoided things in the past and you know what lessons you did to avoid them.
Yeah.
And so if you know what you did to avoid them, you don't need to experience the electric shock in order to relearn avoidance.
Yeah.
Aí, ó. Pega essa lição aí do Alex. Então ele trouxe aqui que quando ele traz como se fosse uma aversão a perder, aversão a ratos e cobras, aversão a choque elétrico. Ele tem aversão a perder. Então ele trouxe aqui o lado da vitória, o lado da derrota. Por quê? Quando você perde, você tem que aprender com os erros que teve aqui, que fez você perder, e você experimentou como se fosse um choque. Você teve esse experimento da derrota. Então a lição que fica é você tem que fazer de tudo para não experimentar de novo aquela derrota. Então você fica a lição. Eu tenho que fazer de tudo para não experimentar aquela coisa que eu tenho aversão. Então eu tenho aversão nas derrotas. Isso que eu aprendi. Então se eu tomei um choque, por exemplo, eu tenho que fazer tudo para eu não tomar o choque de novo, para ter que reaprender a lição. Então eu evito tomar um choque porque eu já sei como que é o choque. Entendeu? Então essa é a analogia que ele fez ali. Interessante, é um outro ponto de vista, cara. Legal. Para quem não conhece o Alex Hormozi, ele é empreendedor, investidor, escritor, tem vários livros. Legal.
That was my 2 cents.
Esses foram os meus 2
like
cents.
if you're running away from fear, it works for a while, but then you burn the fuck out. You know,
aula,
like
man.
in being a leader, leading from fear versus respect, you're going to get people to get the job done,
Yeah.
but after 3 years, they're going to be burnt the fuck out, running on edge, and then not want to do it anymore because they lost their love for it. Versus when you're able to find the same drive, and it's not just strictly about winning or losing, it's just strictly about like personal growth, being my best, win or lose, you're going to fucking figure something else and get better from it.
Yeah.
You're not having that fear of losing on the back of your mind. You're just like coming in excited to just dominate yourself and be your best.
Oh, the second part of that I agree with. I think the first part with leaders who lead from fear, I would see it's a false parallel with the what lessons losing has to teach.
Yeah.
So leading with fear to me has nothing to do with I want to experience losing so I can have the lessons that losing teaches me. One is how I lead people, the other is
You're saying if you
I
want
don't
to
see
lose?
those as parallels.
What do
So
you
from
mean
an
by that?
argumentation
Líder não
standpoint,
libera
like,
pelo medo.
it would be like saying
Conteúdo, hein?
I want to learn the lessons that losing has to teach me, and then I would create. It's kind of like climbing a mountain. It's in no way like climbing a mountain. It's a metaphor that doesn't translate.
Yeah.
Which, from a sales technique, because this is what I teach, is a great way to persuade. It's just not. It's because we learn through analogies.
Yeah.
But analogies are false. Right? Fundamentally, like we make them to seem as though.
Aprendemos por meio de
they're-
truth is only
analogia,
so far as what
mas
you're
as
saying.
analogias
Exactly.
são
Expand on
falsas.
it.
As soon
It's
as you
all
expand
false.
it, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's where I just fundamentally like boiling down, just taking it at face value of what about the lessons that losing has to teach me? It's just, what about the lessons I learned from avoidance? And I'd say there's many ways to learn those lessons.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to come from losing.
For sure.
That's-
I'm
that's
not
the
saying
only-
that's why the objective
yeah.
should never be to
Falou,
lose.
vambora.
The objective is always to win.
Yeah.
But my so was just the fear that people have in attaching, like,
Oh, if I don't win, then what?
yeah, like
Yeah.
my self-worth, my love,
Oh,
my
I'll
attachment is like win or all, you know?
Oh, that I'll always agree to. Well, also, because to what degree can you control it? Like,
What?
to what degree can you control it?
Yeah.
Because like you can't control the judges. You can't.
No.
There's nothing you can do. You can come
Exactly.
the most shredded, most whatever. It's a subjective sport.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's where I think you and I would 1000% agree, because I want to leave it all on the field,
For sure.
and only I know if I left it all on the field.
Yeah.
And so this is one I try to explain to people who are coming up, is that like once you beat everyone at a domain, you can't win by their approval because everyone approves of you because you've already beaten everyone because you've surpassed their dreams,
Yeah.
but not yours, because you know you can do more. And so that's when you become judge, jury, and executioner, because only you know if you really tried your hardest.
For sure.
And it's harder as a champion because your standards are higher.
Yeah.
And so that's that game. And then what ends up happening is if you win in your own mind, you usually dominated everyone else's, so you end up winning. But in the case that something happens, you fucking tear your quad the day before, you don't feel like you lost. You're like, I fucking left it on the field.
Yeah.
And so then that's when.
But there's still probably 10 people out there who gave their all and aren't
Sure.
going to win because they're not me, you know?
But they won, in my mind, they won to themselves.
Yes.
And that's how, like,
Yeah. Which is why I think a lot of people, like, I was challenging you because I was hoping for a little
Yeah.
elaborate. And I also know 50% people get it. And then 50% of it just come from the fact of being like driving from shame. Like if I lose, then I suck. And it's like,
and I think a lot of people start there. I did.
yeah.
But I think to your point, because what happens is when you don't think there's a probability of losing, then what? Either you fuck off and try and get yourself into the possibility of losing to then create the comeback, which is what some champions do.
Yeah.
They fall into alcohol and they come back in because they lost the meaning of it,
Yeah.
or they change what winning means to them.
Yeah.
But so
Ó,
for me, it's
papo reto. Ele disse aqui então que vários atletas tem uma mente um pouco menos treinada, vamos dizer assim, que acaba não sabendo lidar algumas vezes com a derrota, cai em álcool, se afoga em drogas, às vezes por conta de perder e ter aquela ideologia de querer subir de novo o mais alto possível, às vezes não consegue, então tem que ter uma mentalidade muito forte.
Always been about, I equated winning to work. And only I know if I give it my all.
Vencer ao trabalho.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's my
Então vai,
My-
vambora.
fucking 2 cents
Capricha no
on,
leg aí,
Seven
hein?
cents.
on being a world champion bodybuilder. Yeah, I want to be a world champion in my own way.
Cincinnati State powerlifter.
I'm doing single barrel on this guy, for sure.
Bora. Bora. Desceu. Beleza. Curtinho. Tudo, curtinho, tudo. Beleza.
You spot me on this one?
Yeah.
Just for
Those look like
giggles.
double barrel to me.
Yeah, I know.
Não ia ajudar não, tá? Mas bora. Explode, explode.
I should probably call him there. I don't know if I was gonna come back.
I really had a double pull.
Yep. Oh. Yeah, because like there's, like when we did the book launch last year, or I had to like come to terms with, what if the tech fails? What if the streaming doesn't work? What if processing breaks down? Like, it was like, I will control what I can control, and what happens is what happens. And so when I did go on
Controlado que eu
stage,
posso
I'd already done the
controlar.
presentation 100 times, out loud and recorded and watched it and done it again. And so the team that was there that does this every day was like, I've never seen anyone so relaxed before this. And I was like, this isn't my first time.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's probably the same way before you get on stage. Like, how do you so whatever? Like, this is my first time.
My first time I was shitting my pants.
Yeah. But you'd done this routine.
Yeah.
It's like, I've done this routine. I've practiced to this music. I know what I'm doing. And at least I try and do it so many times I'm bored of it. It's like when I'm bored of it is when I know I'm ready. For me,
Yeah.
that's my telltale. Everyone's different. For
Yeah.
me. Until I'm bored, I still need, because when I'm bored of it, I have no anxiety. I'm bored of it. So I can just present, I can just picture,
sure.
do whatever I have to do.
Yeah. In your mind, if you were doing something that was a win or lose scenario,
Uh-huh.
or like that, sure, like
Well, I
a
see
fail
it's
or
a
something.
Totally.
So do you think it's completely wrong to even think of like if then, like to even like approach something like approaching the world championship, like if I lose then I'm okay if I gave my all, and there's still more to learn from losing, because there is a very big humility lesson in self-actualization, understanding of fucking reality, of knowing when you give your all and you still lose at life, because that's just life sometimes.
I mean, I think there's the
Olha a
hypothetical
tranquilidade do cara. Isso foi
Yeah.
antes do
I
Mr.
think the
Olympia,
stoic
tá? Ele
idea
ganhar o
is
sexto.
you win the moment you step on stage, and you control the things you can control.
Yeah.
And so it's the idea of like, I work hard, period, not I work hard so that. Because as soon as you work hard so that, then the so that becomes the reason.
Yeah.
But I work hard to work hard because it's what it says about me. And so
Yeah.
that's an ideal I choose to live by.
Yeah.
I think that's the ideal. Obviously, we don't live in an ideal world. But in terms of what I, Alex, strive for, because I have a lot more than one bodybuilding championship. Meaning,
Esse Alex
I
aí
have
é top
championships
também
every
de
week.
pensamento, hein?
new product releases,
Nome, né?
new campaigns in a portfolio company. I have a new hire that we give equity to that if they don't work out, I lose. So obviously it's not culminating to one thing. But launches is an example where it's
Yeah.
a year of work for something. But even then, like there were things that went wrong with the last launch. But it was like if something that went wrong is something that I could have controlled, then that is on me. If there was a storm that was supposed to start that day, like in Vegas, and I was like, yeah, you're fucking kidding me. Like a storm. And I was just like, I have controlled what I can control.
Yeah.
And if that means that there is no electricity in all of Vegas,
Isso aí.
then there is no electricity in Vegas. And that is what it is.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know.
Now, I found a lot of people, at least like in my world specifically, because everything is all of it for one day a year, every year. It's just one day a year. It's all
So
just one day a year.
It's like the Olympic.
Olympics every 4 years.
4 years for
Yeah.
5 seconds, right?
But they're all
Like-
mentally fucked after that.
Yeah.
But so many of the people who are like win twice or 3 or 4, anything more than 1, everything in their mind starts to just be, well, now I have to win. And then that stress and pressure takes away from their ability to perform. And then they're chasing the actual goal before the process. So they're like, fuck working hard, I just have to win. It's like, well, no, you just have to work hard. And then
winning occurs.
Will ensue. You don't pursue winning, it will ensue.
It's making the inputs the goal, not the outputs. There we go. Finally, after our whole discussion, it's if you make the inputs the goal, the outputs occur. If you make the outputs the goal, you change what the inputs are. That got you the output in the first place. Yeah, we agree.
We agree.
Concordamos.
I've always found it so interesting. It's something I like. Repeat champions. Like, and most of them are like. No offense, I mean Michael Jordan's everyone watches my content, but.
Ele sempre repete mesmo, é uma coisa que dá pra perceber. Ele sempre repete a palavra campeão, campeão, champion, campeão, champion. Então ele atrai muito essa questão. É campeão e acabou, não tem negociação.
He's not happy. He's a miserable motherfucker. He just found some way to continuously drive his way in a miserable fashion. And people look up to that and they want to be that. And I'm like, he didn't do it right. Well, he did, but he didn't.
Right. I think it's just
depends. Like my goal.
What's your goal?
My goal would rather be happy and have peace of mind, rather than
And I think that's, and I think if you asked MJ, would you rather peace of mind or a 7th ring? You'd say a 7th fucking ring. So I think it just.
And then you ask Ronnie Coleman, would you rather be able to walk or have 9 pedals? He'd say 9 pedals.
So I think it's. So then, and that's where like you zoom all the way out, and it's like making a judgment on anyone else's goals in general is stupid because their goals aren't the same as yours. So like, I would do it different. No shit, you're different. Like, I had somebody, a family member, tell me, they were like, I would never live my life like you, and I was like, no shit. And I would never live my life like you, which is why you have your life and I live my life. And good thing is, you don't have to live mine and I don't have to live yours.